Hello and welcome back to Tips and Time Savers. I'm Danny Rocks, and in today's lesson I'm going to demonstrate how you can apply conditional formatting to a pivot table. Beginning with Excel 2007, conditional formatting has been dramatically improved. Let me demonstrate. I've selected the summary cells for the unit shipped in my pivot table. On the Home tab of the ribbon over here in the Styles group, let's look at the menu choices for conditional formatting. So in addition to pre-formatted rules for greater than, less than, between, and equal, we also have top-bottom rules. So top 10 items, top 10%. The rule that I'm going to be using later in the lesson is the cells that are above average. But before I do that, let me demonstrate the data visualization tools that we have in conditional formatting. So you can apply a data bar to a pivot table or actually to any table. With the data bar, you actually see a horizontal bar graph that's drawn inside the cells of your pivot table. So the more it extends to the right horizontally, the greater the value. So it's a good way to visualize your data. We also have color shades over here, color scales, and icon sets. Now, icon sets come in groups of 3, 4, and 5. So with the icon set of 3, this green arrow pointing up will indicate those cells that are in the top third of my selection. The middle third, the bottom third. With groups of 4 icons, the top 25%, the bottom 25%. With groups of 5, the top 20%, the bottom 20%. All right, before I apply conditional formatting, let's take a look at the actual pivot table. Now, to do this, I'm going to first reorient the pivot table. I'm going to take the summary of the values, and instead of having them going across in the columns, I want them to come down in the rows underneath each customer. So I have a summary for the total units shipped by customer. I have a summary for the total of all the invoices. Now, I renamed invoice total revenue. It's easy to change a name of a pivot table field to suit. And I also added in what's called a calculated field. Notice over here in the data set, I do not have the average unit price. So with the pivot table, you can create a calculated field. So I went pivot table tools, options, and I came down here into the formulas to create that calculated field, which I call average unit price. It's the result of the invoice total field divided by the unit shipped field. And then, of course, I formatted the field. So there's my average unit price. What I want to do in this exercise with conditional formatting, I want to see what's the relationship between the average unit price and the revenue for each of the customers. All right, now I have years up here in the report filter, and we'll see how this changes dynamically over different years. For right now, I have all years in there. Now, I think the best way to do this with data visualization or with custom conditional formatting is to put the values over here. So I'm going to select the revenue field, come back here to the Home tab of the ribbon. Over here for conditional formatting, I want one of the top bottom rules. I want the above average. So what this is saying is that if true, if the summary is above average, then apply this conditional formatting to it. So let's choose this green formatting. So over here we can see the customers who had revenue for all years that was above average. We want to see the relation to total revenue for each customer with average unit price. In other words, what's the product mix that they're selling? Once again, conditional formatting, top bottom rules, above average, and let's apply the same formatting. So value if true, if in fact their average unit price is above average, then show it with that formatting. So you can see that we have customers at the top revenue and their average unit price is above average, but we also possibly have some problems over here. Now, to get a better view on this, let's do a sorting. What I want to do is I want to apply a sort rule. So I want to select one of the customers, come up here to pivot table, tool options, and in the sort, what I want to sort in descending order, not by customer, but by revenue. Click OK. And now you can see that I possibly have a problem over here with this company, the ABC company, for all years. Their revenue is above average, but their product mix, what they're actually selling, is below the average. Now, did that hold true in other years? So, for example, let's go back in the year 2008 and see. So you see dynamically how that's changing. You see the conditional formatting that changes. How about if we took a look at another year, 2009? You see how it's all changing. And of course, with beginning with 2007, Excel 2007, in our report filters, we can select multiple items. So what about the combination of these 2 years, the last 2 years, 2010 and so far in 2011? So again, you can see above average in revenue, but below average because I don't have conditional formatting over here in the average unit price. So conditional formatting applies a formatting if the rule answers true. So there you've seen how you can use conditional formatting to tap the information that is contained inside your pivot table. And I'll look for you in the next lesson.